All right, looks like we are live. Let's see if the audio is working. Give me 1 second. Perfect. All right, so today we got a SUBTO deal in near Dallas, 3514 Kronk Lane, Dallas, Texas. 1,080 square feet instant equity, less than 20 minutes. 1,080 square feet, 3-bed, 1-bath. Contract price 179,108, 21. PITI breakdown is 1850.84. Mortgage balance is 165. Okay. So 189 is the all-in price, including the assignment. So that's roughly around $10,000 assignment fee because contract price is 179, all-in price is 189. Okay. Current value is 230,000. Okay, sure. Currently rented for $19.75 through September 31st. All right. PITI breakdown. Exits, long-term rental. Pad split 2,500. You gotta, in order for pad split, you gotta at least be able to furnish the place. Okay, so we're gonna underwrite this deal for affordable housing, specifically on Section 8. So the first thing I did today was I Googled, what did I Google to research this? I did Dallas Housing Authority 2024 payment standards. That's what I Googled. And right then and there, I was able to click on a PDF, and that brought me to the FY 2024 payment standards. If you guys ever want this link, just let me know. Happy just DM me and I'll give that to you. How would you handle instant equity if you are essentially cashing out the seller for their equity? Let's talk about that. Because sometimes instant equity can evaporate, right? If you buy a place supposedly that's worth X amount of dollars, like what comparables are you using? So I'm not so sure I agree with that. That seems more of a marketing or a selling point. That's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on when I was going to cash flow, because what's the value of this home, right? The value of this home is in the underlying debt service. Did they even tell me what the SUBTO loan is? Yeah, they didn't even tell me what interest rate the SUBTO loan is on. Let's see if I can look that up afterwards. All right, 1 second. So first thing we do with every single property, whenever we look at a deal, is we try to figure out, one, what's the market rent? 75227. Let's just load this in there so that we have that in place. All right. So based on zip code, by bedroom count, you're going to see that a 3-bedroom payment standard is 1980. So this 1980 number is the maximum rent that a housing authority will subsidize. And this includes utilities. It's very important when it comes to payment standards. It includes utilities. All right. So when you look through this deal specifically with 1980, let's go ahead and check out what do we see in the market. So in order to get market rents, I go to affordablehousing.com, owner section, market rent estimator, plug in the address. Whoops, copy and paste this address. Boom, boom, boom. Plug in the address, plug in 3 bedrooms, and let's see if I see this 1975 number that they were talking about. All right, on average, they said 1975, average rent is 1910. So I believe it. You could probably get 1910 or 1980 is what they were saying it is. So let's see. On this payment standard, 1980, but a 4-bedroom is 2552. Big jump, right? That's almost extra $550 for an extra bedroom. 75227. 75227. That's a 3-bed rent. Just noting down these details so that if it's a deal, I can always send it to my partners because they already know how I underwrite. Okay. All right. Let's take a quick look at this property. See if we can see. Yeah. 1910. Let me write down that number down. 1910. That's the number I care most about. I'm going to write down all these other numbers so I can have some sort of understanding of what's happening in the city and the county. 2349. Let me see if I can get those rents for a 4-bedroom. What does that look like? A 4-bedroom goes up to 2364. So pretty big jump, 2364. So you can probably get up to $2,400 in rent. You can add additional bedroom. So a 4-bedroom is definitely the play here if there is existing square footage to use. And 1,000 square feet, that might be really tight to get in. That might be really tight to get in 1,000 square feet. This might not be feasible unless there's a garage. Let's see. All right, so let's plug in the address and let's see if we can take a look at this property. See if we see any photos. Any on Redfin? Let's see. For sale. Oh, realtor.com. All right, here we go. Got some photos. There is no garage, so there's something we can convert to an additional bedroom. This is the living room. I mean, this dining room is too small to convert to a bedroom. And you might be able to fit it in, but man, that is going to be tight. And then you do away with the functionality, and it's going to make someone want to move out. All right, so I see all the rooms. So for the most part, there wasn't any carpets or anything like that. Let's see, kitchen, dining room. So technically, you could turn a dining room into a bedroom because it's 7 by 10, so you still meet those standards. So that could be one potential way you turn this into a bedroom technically and count it as an additional bedroom to try to achieve the higher rents. Okay, prime bedroom. All right, good to know, but that'll make the functionality really small, right? But something for you to keep in mind and something that I want to be at least creative about to see whether or not I can turn this into a higher cash flowing deal, because usually most bedrooms require a 7 by 10 space. This is an 8 by 9 based on this floor plan. So this might be able to turn it into an additional bedroom just with how the flooring is laid out. And plus you already have the framing in there. So how do you need to turn it into a bedroom? Do you just add doors? I don't know, maybe. But then if you add doors in here, now you have to go through a bedroom to the kitchen. And that might be really inconvenient, right? So it's a really awkward layout to try to do that. So let's underwrite it first as a 3-bedroom, okay? Now, I also check the crime score. So when you go to topapp.com, plug in the address, click on neighborhood, and you're going to be able to see the crime score. 105, that's not bad. Just slightly above average. Let's do a quick street view of the property. Do I see any boarded up homes, trash on the streets, or anything like that? Not really. It's like a suburban neighborhood in East Dallas. Anything around here that I need to be aware of? There's a Walmart nearby. That's good. At least there's some retail nearby. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and underwrite this deal now. Now that most stuff checks out, it's in a decent to halfway decent neighborhood. I didn't really see any red flags. So the contract price is $189,108.21. Renovations for this property. Let's first underwriting it using and assuming 3 bedrooms. So I'm only going to set aside $1,500 for any roof repairs. I'm going to set aside $500 to clean up the outdoors because there's always something there. For painting, I am going to repaint the entire home, but I didn't see any flooring that needs to be updated. So I'm going to zero that out. So I got 1,080 square feet at $3 a square foot to paint the place. What else we got? Toilets. We got 1 toilet in there. So I'm going to replace that with a high pressure flush toilet just to kind of keep it nice and clean. I'm not adding any extra bedrooms or anything like that. I'm assuming the water heater is working because someone's living there already. I'm assuming there's no I might just put aside $1,000 for termites just in case, because I'm not really getting an inspection. There's no more negotiation on this deal. So $8,028 is the rehab for this property currently. Okay. All right. Now my rents, I'm going to have to take the lower of the two, but 1980 and 1910 is pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to underwrite this deal with 1975 rents, which is exactly what they said it's currently rented out at. So I assume that's the market rent. All right. Now we don't have the interest rate for this property. So there's 2 things we can do. We can either go to PropStream and try and pull up the address to see what the underlying rate is, or we just back into it, which is something that we do typically anyways. But I'm going to show you both ways, and it leads to the same result anyways. So I'm going to pull up PropStream right now. I'm going to wait for it to load. Plug in the address. And when you go to PropStream, you can click on this details button once you load the address. And if there's an underlying loan, usually it's listed right here. So that's why they didn't mark it with the interest rate, because it's so high. So it's saying there's a loan amount for 168 at 6.39% interest rate. So I'm going to plug in what I know now, 6.39 interest rate. This started in 6/5/2023. 6,523. And loan balance on this deal, let's see. Mortgage balance is $165,000. 165,208.21. Okay. Now, see, this is why getting the exact terms does not matter if you have the PITI, because all we're going to do is we're going to take this PITI of equals 1850, which is what we're getting right here, 1850.84, and I'm going to subtract the sub-2 principal of the underlying loan, and I'm going to subtract the interest payment portion of the sub-2 loan. And that gives me a total of $818 for both property taxes and insurance. Now, I'm going to add another $35 for the insurance policy, because I'm assuming if I am buying this property as an investment property, there's typically a premium associated with the insurance policy whenever it's an investment property, just because they view it as a higher risk, etc., because you're not living there as a primary residence. Okay. Going through the rest of the numbers, we're going to set aside 10% for the maintenance. We're going to set aside no money for HOA. We're not doing that. And we got 8% for the property management, and I'll put 5% for the vacancy, just because it's not like the nicest area. 5%. This results, assuming you have a 3-bedroom, right, at $1,975, you are going to cash flow negative $365. You will be losing $365. That's assuming a 11% cash and cash return. Oh, hold on, let me update this. My total entry fee is $23,900. $23,900. There you go. 2.5% closing costs, $8,000 in renovations. This results in that negative, almost 12% cash and cash return. Assuming your purchase price was $189,000 and your renovation was $8,000. Okay. So we know that's not ideal for us personally, because honestly, I want a cash flow. I don't believe in investments where I'm reaching to my pocket every single month to make it self-sustaining. So that's not a deal for me. However, let's start getting creative. What if I turn this into a 4-bedroom property, right? We talked about, hey, it might not even be the most functional room, but we know that there's upside, right? You can go from 1975 to 2364. So I'm gonna do 2375. If I turn this into a 4-bedroom property using that 8x9 space that we saw for the dining room and convert that into bedroom. And I'm gonna assume it's gonna cost at least $10,000 to convert that bedroom if you want that to be legally permitted, etc. So with that being said, is that ideal? No. Even if I got this into a 4-bedroom, my rent is not $2,552, it's $2,364, because there's a test. It's called the rent reasonableness test. The rent reasonableness test essentially states that you cannot charge more for a unit simply because you're renting out to a voucher holder. They call this as you cannot charge more rent than a comparable unassisted unit. This is the technical language. So you can't charge more just because they're a voucher holder. So you can charge $2,365 or $2,375, what I have there, but you're not going to be able to charge more because that's not reasonable. Okay, $2,375. And then the cash flow on that is going to be negative 57. Is that a better deal than before? Yeah, absolutely. So if I want to say I want to break even and maybe I'm pursuing depreciation, maybe that's a different case, right? But as is right now, this is still not a deal for me because I'm personally looking for at least roughly around a 10% return. Now, obviously, this is not investment advice. I'm not soliciting any investments on this call, just simply showing you all what I'm doing on a daily basis. This is me underwriting deals every single day. So for me, let's kind of quickly recap on what we did here, just so everybody's on the same page. What we did today was we got the deal details. We went through the deal and we saw what the underlying loan was. And then afterwards, we got the payment standards. The payment standards was found by Googling simply Dallas Housing Authority. You can usually plug in your city or county, followed by Housing Authority, followed by 2024 payment standards. Usually, if they have their stuff together and it's a big enough housing authority, you will see all these numbers. These are typically your payment standards, and these are your max rent ceilings, including utilities. Then we went to affordablehousing.com, got the market rents, and we took the lower of the two when we compared what we can charge for rents. We looked at the crime score. We saw that the crime score was okay, just slightly above average at 105. We did a street view to understand the neighborhood a little bit better. And then we started plugging in all the details based on the underlying loan, plugged in all the details based on what was disclosed to us by the wholesaler. We estimated renovation, which again, we took the lower of the two rental assumptions for rent reasonableness. We backed into the property taxes and insurance number based on the disclosed PITI number of 1850, and we subtracted the principal and interest. We added a little bit extra premium to insurance because we're going to turn this into an investment property. Afterwards, we set aside 10% for our maintenance. We set aside 8% for property management, and we set aside 5% for vacancy. Those are our expenses. And that nets out to a negative cash flowing deal. And that's how we decided personally not to pursue this deal any further, because that just does not fit our time. If you really think about it, you can probably invest your capital somewhere with lower risk in terms of lower execution risk, but you're still able to get your yield on your investment. So whenever I see anything that's really under like 5%, like I just don't pursue it, because I can put that in like a high yield account. And I mean, the 10-year treasury yield is about 4% right now. So you can technically get 4%, quote unquote, risk-free, from what I learned in my economy class. And that's an option for you to pursue. Like, why take on all that risk to get the same yield when you had to go manage a contractor, manage your property manager, deal with all the headaches, deal with the delays, etc. So that's really something for you to all decide. Again, at the end of the day, all we're doing with the Affordable Housing Podcast is putting the information out there so that you all can decide your own strategy, right? Everybody wants to say, I just want to help people. Well, who do you want to help and how do you want to help them? I personally chose affordable housing because I grew up in affordable housing. That lights a fire in me to get up every single day and come in here and do the work. And I hope today is another revealing step for all of you to create your own YouTube channel. And most importantly, you can analyze the same deal I analyzed today using the same spreadsheet. Just DM me on Instagram at InvestWithKenHe with your email, and my team will send it to you. And the whole point of why I'm doing this is so that you can create that undeniable track history of your own ability to analyze deals. Because when it comes time to pull the trigger on a deal, like if a deal came across your table and slaps you across the face, will you take that on that deal? And you might be scared, you might be nervous, and the only way you can get over that is by proving to yourself that you know what you're doing. All it takes is 18 minutes a day of analyzing deals. Just like right now, I'm at minute 17. That's all you need. Analyze a deal every single day with me. Stay consistent with me, and you do it for 365 days, you will be better at analyzing deals in 95% of the country. And then if a partner ever asks you, hey, why do you think this is the deal? You can point them to your own YouTube channel at that point in time and then show them, hey, this is a deal because I looked at the past 166 deals and they were all not deals. Might they have a little bit more confidence in you? Might you have a little bit more confidence in yourself? I certainly hope so. Sometimes we're scared because we don't know what the options are. Sometimes we have anxiety because we don't know which options to pick from. Well, this is a very fundamental step. If you ever want to buy 1,000 units, chances are you might have to analyze over 100 or 10 times that deal, that amount, whatever you want to buy. This is just a work. And anybody that tells you it's a get rich fast thing, it's not true. You got to put in the work. You got to do the thing every single day. And most importantly, you got to find the team to support you. And that's why I brought on resources on the podcast. Just 2 weeks ago, I brought in a contractor from Kansas City who used to be a Section 8 inspector. Does that mean he's going to be a great inspector? I mean, a great contractor for you? There's no guarantee. But at the minimum, you can start and get a quote from one guy. And then you compare that quote with 2 other people. And then all of a sudden, you're doing the thing. And you're learning about how much a rehab costs and how much does something like this cost and what kind of problems might come up. We brought on folks like Andrew Slocum and Terry Harris to talk about ADU laws and how his expertise helps with affordable housing in West Hollywood and Pasadena. We brought in so many different people in residential assisted living. We brought in folks from single family all the way to ground up construction. You now are equipped with the information. Now it's up to you to decide what you do with that decision, with all that information. Because some people might never have even been privy to that information in the first place. And this is why we're building the largest affordable housing investment community in the United States. Remember, collaboration happens at the top. Competition only happens at the bottom. As you guys get more and more resources in your Rolodex, I really hope you share them with other folks in the community. This is why I brought contractors from St. Louis, from Atlanta, from Kansas City, because I remember how scary it was when I first started, and not knowing whether or not a contract was going to rip me off, or what if a contractor runs circles around me because I never built a house before. Well, I'm hoping this podcast and this community provides you with a launching point, takes a little bit of the fear out of the process for you. It still might be scary, but it'll be a lot less scary when there's other people alongside with you. And this is why we go live every single day. This is why we do this. And I so appreciate all of you for tuning in and being part of the community. Without people like all of you, I would never have the home I grew up in. So thank you so much for coming on. I hope you all spend some quality time with your family and friends today, because that's what life is all about. All right. I'll be back here again tomorrow for day 167, and we are out. Have an amazing day, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.